Hey guys, hi, hello, hi, what's up, hey, hi, hello. If you know who I am, hey guys, what's up, it's Daniela. If you don't know who I am, hi, my name is Daniela. I've been making mediocre videos on the internet for almost 9 years, so if that's the type of content that floats your boat, then why don't you hit that red subscribe button down over yonder, because, you know, that's just how we roll. First of all, if you're wondering what this is, it's a nose strip. I wear them at night because it makes it easier for me to breathe, and I'm filming this at night, just like ignore that. Also, yeah, I sound really sick in this video. Yeah, as you can see by the title, you can probably put two and two together and realize why I sound like this. And that's what this video is gonna be about. I figured I would sit down because I'm quarantined, and so I figured I'd just sit down and do like a chill type of video, basically explaining how this all happened. If you haven't figured out what this video is going to be about, I mean, in case you can't read, yeah, Miss Rona finally caught up to your girl, and I'm feeling some type of way about it. It's only day one currently as I'm recording this, so I don't have a full story of my experience because I've only had it for one day, but I do have, you know, a bit of a story already on how all this came down and stuff. Without any further ado, let's just get this party started. Even though it doesn't feel like a party, let's get started anyway. This is the first time that I have ever gotten it. Yes, I'm one of those lucky people who literally went over 2 years without ever getting it somehow. I literally do not know how I did that, because like so many people around me were getting it. Not physically around me, because I am basically a homebody, which probably honestly was part of the reason, but you know, people that I knew. So many people that I knew, or like friends of friends, basically people in my circles were getting it. My brother even had it a few months ago. It was a while ago, but he had it, and until I got it, he was the only person in my household so far that ever got it. But like so many other people in my circles were getting it. I'm like, how has this thing not caught up to me? Like, I am vaccinated and stuff, but like even people who are vaccinated like are still getting it. So I'm just like, how has this not, I must be built different or something, you know? So I was kind of expecting to get it inevitably, because I think at this point it is kind of inevitable that anyone is gonna get it. There's not really much you can do about it. I mean, take every possible precaution, wear masks when you go out and stuff, but I think everyone inevitably is going to catch it at some point. This kind of all started yesterday when I started feeling slightly under the weather, and I figured, like, at first I figured it was probably just allergies, because I really wasn't feeling that bad. I was just feeling, you know, a little bit congested, a little bit lethargic, but like nothing too horrible. So I figured like, oh, it's probably just allergies and stuff, you know. Sometimes I just have those days where I'm just feeling a little bit under the weather, you know. Sometimes the pollen levels are higher, but then later on, it was around midnight, and I was just like, you know, doing my thing, you know, watching YouTube, doing whatever, and I start to feel a bit worse. I started to feel my body started to get worse, and I was like, this definitely is not allergies. So I started getting really in my head about it. I was like, what if I test positive? Which, even if I were to test positive, which I did, spoiler alert, I knew that the timing wasn't too terrible for me to have it, because it's not like I would have to cancel anything. Actually, fun fact, I was supposed to be a counselor at a camp this upcoming week. However, that already got canceled because of an outbreak that happened at another camp that was in the same building. So that was already canceled. So I didn't have any other like plans that I would have to cancel. So if I was gonna catch it, like, now was not the worst time. But you know, I was still getting really in my head about it, because, you know, no one wants to catch it. Like, it's not fun, you know? And around 1 a.m. I got up out of my bed to like use the bathroom really quickly, you know, just like one does every day. And I walk back into my room after I'm done, and as I'm walking back into my room, I start to feel random chills. That kind of confirmed it for me. I was like, yeah, I am 99% sure that this is not just allergies. This is exactly what I think it is. And part of me was still trying to believe, like, oh, like, Danielle, like, it could just be allergies, you never know. But another part of me was like, yeah, it's probably not just allergies. So I got tired, so I started to try to fall asleep. But I ended up not being able to fall asleep until so much later. You know how sometimes when you're like, you can get tired and then you're like, okay, like I'm gonna go to bed now. But sometimes it's like you can't actually fall asleep, you know what I mean? Yeah, so that was happening to me. I got tired and sleepy, but I laid there. Sometimes it takes me a little while to fall asleep, but like I laid there for like an hour and I still wasn't asleep yet, and so I'm like, okay, like, I'll just watch some YouTube videos or something, you know, until I get tired. So I started to do that. Basically, I was sleepy, but my congestion and my overthinking was kind of keeping me up. So I think it was around 12:30 that I, like, got tired, but I didn't actually fall asleep until, like, after 3. And I slept for like an hour or two and woke up around 5 and went back to sleep for another like 4 hours and woke up around 9. And then this morning I did one of those like at-home rapid tests, and just like I expected, it came back positive. Surprise, surprise, I know. I really wasn't too surprised that I was positive. I did actually just get back from a trip a few days ago. Basically, Rena and I, if you remember from a few years ago, I have a friend named Rena. She lives in another state, so we don't get to see each other very often. We met up for the first time in 4 years, and we went on a trip. I don't think I got it from her though, and I don't think I gave it to her. And here's why. She actually just had it just before her visit with me. However, she recovered with like literally just in the nick of time that she did not have to cancel her trip to come visit me. Basically how the trip worked was she came into my state to visit me for a few days, and then we flew together over to the state where she goes to school, and we spent a few days there, and then I came back home. She actually tested positive about a week and a half before coming to visit me, but the day that she flew in to visit me was like day 1 out of quarantine, and she had already recovered by then. And I don't think she gave it to me, because if she did, I would have started feeling symptoms a lot earlier than I did. Her visit with me was like over a week ago, and I just started feeling symptoms yesterday as I'm recording this. So I don't think she was the one that gave it to me, and she was like already like recovered by the time we even first saw each other in this particular visit. Where I think I picked it up was, I think I probably picked it up from someone on my flight back home, because my flight back home was 4 days ago currently as I'm recording this. I don't know when I'm gonna post this, but as I'm recording this, my flight back home was 4 days ago. It was earlier this week, and it was a very full flight too. Most people were not wearing masks because masks are no longer required on flights. I was wearing a mask because it's always better to be safe than sorry, but most people were not. And my hunch is that someone on my flight probably had it. If that is the case, I hope that they didn't realize they had it, because if they knowingly went on a flight knowing that they had it, then that would not be good. But if they didn't realize it, then I guess that's understandable. So yeah, my hunch is that I probably got it from someone on my flight, because I was in close quarters with a bunch of strangers for like 2 hours, and it was a full flight, so it's not like I had a row to myself, unfortunately, because I actually really wanted a row to myself. But anyways, that is besides the point. I did not even realize like I could have possibly had it until yesterday. So, and I think like normally it takes a few days to actually start feeling symptoms. Like I did not even suspect a thing until yesterday. around late afternoon-ish when I started feeling slightly under the weather and stuff. However, I don't think this is a bad time for me to have it. I mean, like, if I'm quarantining in my room, I'm not spreading it around. So honestly, like, I don't mind too much having it for a few days. As long as it doesn't get too bad, I just have to, you know, stay in my room and make sure I'm not spreading it around. I did have a lot of fun on my trip, and I'm still very glad that I went. I don't want to sound like bad. Like, I don't want to sound like, oh, like it was worth getting it or whatever. Because I feel like that sounds bad, because like I'm sounding like, oh, I don't care if I spread it around. I don't mean it that way, but this trip that I went on was very much anticipated, and it was also a chance for me to practice some independence, because I really need that at my age, and I've never really had a chance to navigate the airport on my own. And my flight back home was kind of my chance to do that. I had flown by myself before, but the only thing I actually was on my own for was the actual flying part. That particular time, my mom like took me through security and everything. I was still a minor, by the way, at this time. This was 3 years ago, so I would have been 17. So I was still a minor. So my mom was like allowed to take me through security and whatnot. But anyways, I digress. This particular trip was like my first real practice with navigating the airport on my own, and stuff like that. So I am still glad I went on my trip. This wasn't just like a impromptu, like, yeah, let's go. Anyway, I'm rambling enough. Now that Miss Rona has caught up to me, really all I need to do is quarantine my room and give myself some rest. Anyways, back to the actual chain of events. So I tested positive this morning. I did not even have to wait like the 20-minute like waiting time or however long it is before I saw the positive result come up, and like, yeah, I'm positive, definitely. And so I called my dad on the phone. My dad was in the house, but obviously like couldn't leave my room, so I called him on the phone and I told him, yeah, so I'm positive. And basically my dad started taking care of me, making sure that like he brought me lunch later on and stuff, because I couldn't like leave my room to get food or to get ice water. I like to put a lot of ice in my water, so a common thing for me to do is I'll go downstairs and get ice, but obviously I couldn't do that. Plus I'm not going to stick my hands in the ice to grab it, because I'm not going to contaminate the ice while I have Miss Rona. So I just had my dad like bring me cups of ice and like leave it by my door and stuff. My mom, by the way, if you're wondering where my mom is, she's actually currently out of town for a wedding, so that's why my mom like wasn't involved in anything that happened today, because she's out of town. But once my mom gets back, I'm sure she will also be very helpful to me and make sure that I'm okay and all that. So my dad did a lot of stuff for me today. He brought me food and was just very helpful, so I really appreciated that, and also brought me chocolate because I live off of chocolate. And speaking of food, as of now I do still have my sense of taste and smell, which I'm so thankful for, because I was so worried, like, what if I lost my sense of taste and smell? Last night I could taste my dinner, and around dinner time was when I started feeling symptoms, but that was also before my symptoms got worse. So I was really worried that in the time that they got worse that I lost my sense of taste, but luckily I did not lose it. I still have my sense of taste and everything, so still able to enjoy food, which I really appreciate, because I love food. I am a foodie, and not being able to enjoy food would just kind of suck, you know? I've just kind of been chilling all day, watching YouTube, not really doing too much activities that are like intense. Just kind of been chilling out. One thing that does suck though is I am gonna be quarantined over Father's Day, because as I'm recording this, Father's Day is tomorrow, and today is day 1 of my quarantine. So I am gonna be quarantined over Father's Day, which is not ideal, but I can still hang out with my family and stuff, like over the phone or even from a distance. I can still leave my room and stuff as long as I wear a mask and obviously like not get too close to other people in my family. But yeah, that's kind of the story. That is what's happened so far. Yeah, I realized that in this video I don't sound like my normal peppy self. Mentally, I do feel peppy like I do in all my videos, but it's hard to show that because I am also feeling not 100% because, you know, Miss Rona finally caught up to yours truly, and Miss Rona has a way of not making you feel your greatest. So please forgive me for sounding a little bit not as peppy. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoy having Miss Rona. I'm just kidding, but I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you find it somewhat entertaining, or if you also have Miss Rona as well, I mean, I hope you can find this relatable in some way. Sorry, my watch band is like not, it pops out of the thing all the time. It's so annoying, I swear. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna go now because this video is probably a zillion years long. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs up anyway because it helps the algorithm. Don't know if it actually does, but I'm just gonna say that. So anyways, that is pretty much it, and I will see you guys, the subscribers and viewers, in my next video. Peace out, y'all. Woo!